folks, today I want to walk you through Chapter 13, Visual Aids. So today we're going to talk about identifying when and how to use visual aids to enhance those presentations. We're going to talk about different types of visual aids and what makes them effective or ineffective. We're definitely going to apply basic design principles to our slides and talk about best practices. So, I love this quote by Roy H. Williams that says, "A visual image is a simple thing, a picture that enters the eyes." Visual aids are great tools to enhance our message, but if we overuse them or we make them cluttered, they become ineffective. So we want to make sure that we use those visuals to continue to send our message to our audience. So here is a picture of my kids, and I love the idea of a picture's worth 1,000 words. You can see that it is a rainy, stormy day. There was a huge path behind them. And again, when you look at an image like this, we begin to fill in the blanks. We want to know the message behind it. So that cliched phrase of a picture's worth 1,000 words really can be beneficial when we use a picture intentionally to tell our stories and to share our speeches. So, visual aids are effective when they're uniquely created for a presentation. Each visual aid that you create or use in a speech should be designed with your speech in mind. Design the visual aid while you're creating and crafting your speech. They should be used to spark interest and build connections, definitely to illustrate complex ideas, and they should be simple, visible, and relevant to the conversation that you're having with your audience. Again, they're great for presentations when they're used intentionally. Now, there are different types of visual aids, and so I like the image on the left here, which shows just how colorful and creative you can be with a visual aid. A visual aid could be a personal appearance. For example, if you're doing a demonstration speech on yoga, your personal appearance, how you're dressed, and how you move sends a message. They can be objects and props. They can be demonstrations, flip charts, posters. Typically, we avoid posters now that we have such great technology that allows us to do slide decks. Handouts, audio, and visual videos are also really helpful. Now, a note about handouts that's pointed out in your reading. A handout is a great tool that should not be passed out during a speech. You want to make sure that if you're giving a handout, that you either present it at the beginning of the speech if it's necessary to utilize during your speech, or pass it out at the end. When you've got handouts and things moving around the classroom, people stop listening and aren't able to fully hear your message. Now, I want to talk a little bit about design principles here. The use of visual aids are meant to get your message across. You want to consider the audience, just like a text message. You want it to be very clear, direct, and you want to make sure that that message is received. Also, keep your visual images simple. You'll notice that most of my slides have white backgrounds. I use a lot of white space. I avoid putting too much information on a slide, and I make sure that it's readable. So that design of keeping it simple, keeping it tranquil, like this ocean beach here, is just a really powerful image, and it evokes feelings in your audience. Also, again, use the white space. Use simple backgrounds and really consider color, especially in different lightings in different rooms. You want to use images effectively as well. Here are my Suko Creating Effective Visual Aids tips. Again, keep it simple, make it useful. So let's explore here. Visual aids are designed to enhance our understanding. They add variety, support our claims, and have a lasting impact. And I love this visual here that emphasizes the idea of when you look at a text, you only really retain 7% of what you read, 38% of our vocal inflection, but 55% of the visual aid. So when designed right, visual aids truly enhance our retention, which is what's shown in this graph here. You know, when you think about having a slideshow with bullet points, you're only really going to retain about 10%. But visual slides with images, after 3 days of hearing a lecture, you're going to remember 50%. So again, keep it simple. Here are my goofy kids, and again, they're telling such a vivid story with this image. This image speaks for itself, and so I have a really simple slide here, And again, some notes on a slide. You want to include 4 to 5 points max on a slide. You can include even less. Avoid that wordiness. Use font to color effectively. Using really scripted font becomes hard to read. Also, remember your audience might be colorblind. And if you've got colorblind audience members, red and green become really hard to read, but purple and blue are much more palatable colors for people who may be colorblind. Again, I can't say it enough. Keep it simple. Also, avoid words and grammar mistakes. So this is my third child here, and this is what I looked like as a kid. And you can see it's obviously pixelated, which is not necessarily a great picture to use, but I think the expression speaks for itself. When you've got mistakes on a slide and you're giving a presentation, then your audience immediately gets caught up in those mistakes. So my conclusions here, visual aids are designed to intentionally add great value to your speech. You absolutely need to practice with your visual aid. You want to avoid that death by PowerPoint.